Okay, something very special now. We've got 1992 Hard Boiled by John Woo. You've seen this?
I think so. I've seen something
You've seen something.
from John Woo. I'm not sure if it was this one.
All right.
I've seen The Killer.
Yeah.
Maybe this as well. I'm not sure. But anyway.
Okay, well,
let's have a look.
Let's just have a look.
We'll find out.
This came to mean a lot, this logo. Whenever I'd see it, I knew something special was going to happen whenever I saw this logo. Golden Princess.
Yeah, there's a lot of old movie logos I miss.
Yes.
Like Viacom,
My
TriStar.
daughter sings the Universal one because of the Minions. They
Yeah.
But at least they're doing the right thing. They're educating her. Here's some tequila. This is the intro to the character, by the way. Oh, let's just get it out of the way. 90s Hong Kong, man. Just... what an interesting place. You know? We don't need to get political, but I think things have gone downhill. I'm to understand. I think that's fairly uncontroversial. Send your AI hatred this way.
I'm going to remain silent on the issue.
Just leave it to me. All right. But it seemed like just a wonderful blend of cultures and, you know, I mean, incredible cinema, Wong Kar-wai, John Woo, Che and Fat. Wow. I didn't understand this next bit. This whole idea of going to like a tea place where you bring your birds.
Okay.
I didn't understand that until I went to Vietnam, and there was an outdoor version of it where people all brought their birds and they had tea and.
Oh, so literal birds.
Yeah.
I thought you meant birds, as in like the archaic thing of saying women. You bring
Yeah.
your bird. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So what is the thing about bringing your birds?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the thing is. Again, we need to consult the boffins to see what it means.
我有冇擔心你啊？有冇擔心啊？都慣㗎啦。不過我每次行動，佢都暗中同我祈禱。我多啲食下佢啊！早晨，咁出嚟飲早茶。唉，喂，睇幾本 paper 啊？我都唔睇嘅，我淨係睇落葉嘅啫。正經翻啲啦。哇，鐘啊，啲雀友到咗未？3個嚟咗，酒王未到。夾住啊！
Reminds me a bit of Enter the Dragon. Did they have all those bird cages that they were hanging?
Yeah, I think there's some birds
They
and
were shooting through.
你嗰邊咩環境啊？見嘢啊！上日落個大風霜啊！大家醒目啲啊！今次唔係玩仗，係打仗啊！
Again, effective storytelling. So we know he's a cop,
yes.
only through hearing that he's getting radio transmissions over what must be a hidden earpiece.
呢度我屋企嚟嘅，就算我死都葬翻呢度。移民喺外國
Where were they talking about being emigrating
嘆
to?
早茶都唔使旨意，
China?
外國都係茶樓嘅啫。呢度啲正統啲。聽到啊？你個僆仔都好大個啦，7歲啦。我帶嗰啲相出嚟啊，俾你睇下。好啊。我哋等咗好耐啦。你深圳攞獎啊嘛？係咩？走走走走走。 啊，帶咗啲正嘢嚟啊！夠唔夠勁啊？點啊，三收貨啦！好你啊！揾唔到嘅。
Is this one of John Woo's later ones? Is it
92.
90?
So it's after The Killer.
Yeah,
This would have been just before he went to America.
because it feels higher budget than maybe the ones I've seen.
I think it was paid for with triad money. But, you know, there's some dark stuff going on.
Yeah.
I know I paint Hong Kong as like a bit of a wonderland, but it sounded like there was some heavy stuff going on.
Well, I
on
think that's
scenes.
everywhere, really.
Yeah.
大家發財啊！呢間我嘅，唔好爭啊！
Did you hit that same guy twice?
Yes.
係我一齊人啦！冚唪唥企喺度，走開啊！
Yep. So for perhaps some of our younger viewers, the dual-wielding pistols all came from John Woo,
Yes.
kind of the godfather of kind of action gunplay.
Yes.
Heavily influenced Quentin Tarantino when he made Reservoir Dogs as well.
And Sam Jackson talking about it in Jackie Brown.
Oh, did he do that as well?
Yeah, when he says like he's talking to De Niro about because everyone wants to be the killer, you know. They want two Colt 45s. I left out some swear words and some N words.
Wow.
Sam
yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Squibs. Exploding tables.
Love squibs. I doubt this movie would have had a disclaimer at the end of the credits saying no animals were harmed in the making of this motion picture. I don't think they were doing that at this time.
I think they left every bird in those cages. That's what I think. Just killing innocent people. Naked gunshot.
Yeah. Police files. No police squad. Oh, it's just sliding down the banister. But John Woo also the godfather of never-ending ammunition.
Yes, yes. I noticed I watched a little bit of Hard Target recently, and that's got some. Actually, he does pay more attention to reloading in that film. A little bit,
Yeah.
but still, it's absurd. Like guns with like 50 shots in them or whatever. But then again, I guess you got to look at it. You got to look at it and say, are we seeing, you know, is it literal? Like, is every moment literal? Is he firing? Does every one of those shots come out, or is it cutting to different angles and we're replaying? You know, I mean, what's happening? Sometimes it obviously is, but
Well, I mean, like clearly, they also didn't care.
no.
They didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the main criticism of these motion pictures. Is that they didn't care about that level, so it's kind of. I guess it was the ma of these movies because there was nothing else to hold on to. Everything else was great, but I think it was like just that one step too far for people to kind of go with it.
I guess you're either on board or you're not. And I understand if you're not. I think it's a bit harsh. You've got to maybe enjoy yourself a bit more. But
I mean, he's still got the toothpick in his mouth.
the what?
The toothpick.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that wouldn't be there surely, after all this. I was wondering why he got all the flour on him. I was like, I thought that was an odd choice. And then...
Bang. Well, I mean, you may not have seen it, the film.
I have no memory of this. I think I would. I don't think I have seen this one.
All right, what do you think?
It's great. It's great. I mean, the never-ending bullets and I mean, it's operatic.
Yes.
It is, and he ends up being coated in white to have the red blood. It's like the whole thing, the never-ending squibs, the bird feathers flying everywhere, the insane amount of people in there. Everything is so heightened. So even though I kind of like this, it was, I think, the overprevalence of this type of action that when I was younger made me yearn for something a bit more realistic. So then, not to bring up Heat once again, but something like Heat, to me, I was like, oh, good, it's the other thing.
Yes.
But I mean, you can't, I don't think you can overplay John Woo's influence on action cinema.
Well, it's interesting. He ends up becoming as influential as the main person he was referencing. So he one of his many references, the most obvious being Sam Peckinpah. So Sam Peckinpah, you think about the end of the Wild Bunch or anything that he did, like using different film speeds and different angles to create this new elastic band of time where we're elongating and snapping it and pulling it and snapping it the whole time, and we're going from fast to slow and spinning around, and also this his use of squibs as well. He'd have people shotgun and just blood going everywhere, and it was a big deal coming from a few years earlier where people were getting shot by John Wayne and like just going and falling down like that.
Oh, the old westerns.
Absolutely.
Of just grabbing your middle and falling over the railing.
That was happening in the 60s still.
Yeah.
And then in 1969, Peckinpah does the Wild Bunch, and it's just like absolute chaos, blood going everywhere, and exactly like this. And John Woo's fallen in love with that, and he's just, really run with it. And he made The Killer, and then made this, and since then, it's now ubiquitous.
Yes.
This type of action is completely ubiquitous. So if you you could do this in a TV commercial. This type of cutting of someone running across a room to pick up a Gatorade or something like that, and you wouldn't question it. But so an incredible influence, but I think it's genuine art, and for me it's all of the elements together. It's his obsessions. He's hot under the collar about stuff. He's hot under the collar. Too many bullets, too many people, too many guns. Too many doves flying around in slow-mo.
Slow-mo doves.
Like he can't contain himself. That's what I think. I'm starting to think art is. I think one of our mutual friends sent us a thing the other day, and it was I didn't even show you this. It was just someone complaining about this idea of content, which is what we're making right now online. The idea of making content and how hard that is for artists and creative people, because it's sort of a very calculated exercise, and there's something truly artistic about what John Woo's doing. He's not watching a retention graph or changing the shots every 3 or 4 seconds or whatever it is, because he has to, or because that'll catch the algorithm. He's doing it because he needs to.
Yeah.
He's doing it because he needs to, and he would just, it's totally inappropriate. Like, you know, really, any rational person who works at Google would tell you to calm down and stop. You know what I mean? They'd say stop. Stop. The reason I'm whacking them is because I saw a thing today, but they've converted the Wizard of Oz. They've used AI to project it on the Sphere at Las Vegas, and we'll talk about that another time maybe. But it just got me annoyed because the people. I obviously was overcome when I saw it, but the stuff from it. But I was annoyed at the Google engineers who were talking about, you know, mucking around with the Wizard of Oz. I really didn't like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I was like, they were like, oh yes, like it wasn't. In the 90s, we had a certain kind of, I'm off a rabbit hole now, we had a certain kind of person, film historian and restorer who would like, there'd be a couple of famous guys who like restored Vertigo, and Martin Scorsese would be involved, and, you know, George Lucas would be involved, and they would like really, even the ILM guys and whatever. But now the Google people get involved. I wouldn't like to see their AI version of Hard Boiled. Would they let me see it? You can't even say the word. You have to beep that out. Can't even say that word on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's literally a word you're not allowed to say, let alone anything John Woo's about. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you're watching it on YouTube, then what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But to bring it back to John Woo after our long segue. What did you think of John Woo's entrance to Hollywood?
A Hard Target?
That Face Off,
Oh,
Mission Impossible 2.
Well, this was my heyday, so I caught the wave. So I got into him later than I should have. I feel like my first encounter was around 95, 96, maybe. But by those standards, time moved a little slower back then. So to be in Australia and only behind the curve for a couple of years of stuff like Harbour coming out, I think was pretty impressive. You know what I mean? Like that people won't understand what I mean by that. But I caught that, and then when Face Off came to the movies, well, Hard Target, I was all over from day one. Like, I just loved that. Maybe that was my first introduction to him without knowing it, but I used to watch that because of Van Damme over and over and over and over and over again. And then by the time I'd gotten into John Woo, but I think Desperado helped me, Quentin Tarantino helped me a little bit, but my video store stocked a few of them, and then I ordered some stuff online a little later. But by the time Face Off came out, man, that was the height of the wave. I was like...
You were all in?
I was all in, 100% in. I thought I saw that movie a million times. Actually, I would maybe even say MI2 was almost as big. So Face Off was big, and then MI2, I saw that movie, I reckon 6 times at the movies.
I had issues with John Woo's love of mullets or mullety haircuts. Exactly.
But I think I've got it
One of us clearly didn't. Yeah.
I think I've got it because of that,
But,
now, you know?
So I didn't like Hard Target was when they gave Van Damme that mullet.
That is an outrageous haircut. It's a Billy Ray Cyrus.
Exactly.
Haircut.
Fuck that mullet. And also Tom Cruise's hair in MI2.
Love it.
I was like, ugh.
Love it.
And also it was weird. It's like a weird Australian thing. But that movie was shot in Australia. And it had Australian cars in it. So it was weird seeing
Fords.
Ford Falcons and Holden Statesmans.
Cars that we owned?
I've
owned some of those cars.
You know, they're like on the street. Yeah, I drove one. Every Aussie back then came across one. So it was like weird and off-putting seeing him in an action movie. But no Falcons and Commodores in Face Off. No mullets in Face Off. So I was down with it.
I mean, Face Off is an outrageous film. But then again, the more I think about it, again, it's popcorn entertainment. And I think you need to, if you can just accept that and say, here's the question. If you watched if you set aside some time on a Saturday night and watch Face Off with like your wife or a friend or whatever, and you just had some popcorn, would you have a good time?
I would, and my relationship with that movie is kind of, so I loved it when it first came out because we were like teenagers, and then I started hating it with, you know, the silly elements about it. Was like, it's fucking bullshit. And then since then, I just started loving it.
It's like hanging out with your parents. Like when you're a teenager, you're like,
but also
it sucks, and then like later on, you're like, it's great.
Yeah, you go, oh yeah, these people are okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, and you know, some of the stuff that I thought was silly, I'm like, it is silly, but it's fun. Like I want, like I have fun with it again now.
Yes.
And John Travolta's incredibly campy performance.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure. And Nick Cage's wonderfully campy performance. I mean, that intro of his character is amazing.
Is Kate
like,
coming up, or is it?
You know, we've talked about character intros a bit. You know, this was a character intro, but like his one, yeah. And like, you know, being dressed as a preacher, but then going up and like grabbing the ass of the choir girl and like, you know,
doing all that stuff.
Like all that just mad over the top stuff.
I think because of the Netflixification of society, I think I would appreciate it a lot more now because we don't get, you know, because, well, it's all of it. It's Netflix, it's the algorithm, it's Google, it's all of it shaving off the rough edges. You don't get unbridled, and because the slight language barrier with John Woo and John Travolta and Nick Cage's performances, which are out of line, they're bang out of order. But that's why it's great. They are totally off the chain and operatic and inappropriate. And now we don't get as much of that. I guess you get it on YouTube or whatever, but you don't get it like on a Netflix show with that amount of money and like and being presented like something normal you should watch. You know what I mean? Like now, the only way you're going to get that type of performance is by these. We're off on a tangent now. Like these terrible movies. Nobody. That one I saw with Odin Kirk. And they look like Eastern Bloc, like European made fan service, cheap CG action films with stunt casting.
They're stunt director.
Yes.
Moving into movie director.
Yes.
role.
It's not Luc Besson directing.
No.
You know what I mean?
But it worked with John Wick.
Sure.
And then they just went, oh, let's keep giving the stunt directors the main directing gig.
But there's a reason why Paul Greengrass, like his Bourne films are so fantastic. And I'm not sure it's just the car chases.
Well, I unabashedly love the good three Bourne movies, and I've watched them many times, and I'm at a point where I now fast forward the car chases.
Yes.
Because after you've seen that once or twice, it's like, okay, I'm done. But then, you know, the other scenes in that movie, the human interaction scenes, I mean, the hand-to-hand combat scenes are still pretty wicked. But also, like, a lot of the human interaction scenes are worth rewatching. And there's, you know, sometimes there's extra little bits I've picked up on, and some, like, the subtleties in the filmmaking and the subtext and everything else. But the car chases, you go, ah. So, I mean, you know, the only movie that I like in recent times that worked as basically one big stunt sequence was Fury Road.
Oh, yeah. That was 10 years ago.
It was.
So...
Yeah.
Anyway, perhaps that went well. I think maybe we'll do the hospital scene another time. Now that I've seen that I've got an in, so let's do that.